deserve to have the best physical, mental, spiritual. Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis. 3 days before Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Hopefully you guys are having a great time and having some time with family and friends and so forth and enjoying this holiday season as always. But, a lot of football going on this time of the year, of course, and my Jaguars are, they're pleasantly surprising me. Okay, I put it that way. Yesterday we played the Denver Broncos, and I was like, what team is this that's playing against the Broncos? Because I didn't recognize, because it was a good thing because they were playing really well. We were catching balls, we were making mistakes. Trevor, Lawrence was running around and making plays, and we had an amazing game. I was at a watch party, which is another fun but exciting thing. I was telling our producer Jason before the show that they pay me to go to these things, like a couple $100 for showing up at these watch parties. It's so much fun. I mean, it's awesome opportunity to meet new people and fans and so forth. But one of the ladies in this, it actually is why what the subject we're going to be talking about tonight is inflammation and really recovery and how NFL and professional athletes. Why are we? I say we. I was one, but why do these professional athletes heal so quickly? And are they getting the best of the best of as far as the treatments and things like that? The answer is yes. We kind of are, of course, but we're also an investment. And so I was talking to Becca, who is a big Jaguar fan. She's involved with 3 International like I am as well. I'll talk a little bit about that as well tonight. But with regards to what she does, a wellness clinic, she has her own clinic and does a lot of proactive treatments and things like that on athletes and stem cells, stuff like that. So she is going through an issue with her knee. But we got on the subject of athletes and how the turnover with regards to when an athlete gets injured, how quickly they can recover. Sometimes it's mind-boggling, man. I had a back surgery after like the second game in the season of gosh, what was it, 99 season or 98? I can't remember. They're all blending together to me. But I missed 4 games. One of the 4 games I missed because I was in the hospital before I had surgery. Okay. So I had surgery at the beginning of the season, kind of after our season had started. And technically, I only missed 4 games, but really it was only like 3 weeks. Okay, so I had surgery on 2 levels of my lower body, my lower spine, L4, L5, L5S1, laminectomy, discectomy, things like that. I was back kicking on Monday night game against the Tennessee Titans. My first field goal was a 47-yard, field goal attempt, and I made it. But it was just like the turnover, just how quickly they recover, and the athletes, the things that we're doing, we do a lot of treatment, of course, because it's our job. And one of the things I was talking with Becca yesterday about, is that we are an investment. And so clearly, if it's something that happens in the middle of the season, they get us on our feet. If we have surgery or whatever, they get us on our feet. We constantly are doing a lot of treatments, and of course, because of the investment, they want us on the field real quick. And I get that. So, and if it's in the off season, there's still some quickness to it. I kind of told her, I said, listen, I have this impression. I haven't had to have any surgeries or any sort of hospitalization as a non-athlete, as a non-professional athlete now, as far as like as a normal American person, right? Before, obviously, as an athlete, we get all that coverage. It's all taken care of and everything, but it's also really good coverage, protection and service as far as the treatments and things like that. It's awesome. But they get us up so quickly, and there's a lot of things that contribute to that, and part of it is staying, on the anti-inflammatory. Keep your inflammation at the lowest possible, area at all times, and that's really what people don't understand. That all disease starts with inflammation. Okay, anything that's negative in your body kind of starts from inflammation. So if you can keep the inflammation down, your recovery is going to be much faster, and you're going to be healthier and a lot more pain-free throughout your entire life. So with that said, we're going to take a little break here and go into our a few words from our sponsor real quick. When we come back, I'm going to kind of show you some information about some products. I'm all into proactive wellness. I'm all into supplements. I'm all into peptides, things like that. Anything that's naturally signals within our body to repair itself. I'm not into this whole, let's throw a Band-Aid, or let's, not a little Band-Aid, but I'm referring to drugs and things like that kind of just more or less masks the pain. They don't do anything about the inflammation part. They just mask the pain and kind of get you through, each day. But again, you just again, putting a Band-Aid on a major problem, something that's probably worse than just a Band-Aid would take care of. So, we get back from a quick word from our sponsor. We'll talk about some products and what they do, and kind of the whole aspect of how athletes are better recovered than the regular folks, and kind of the process and again why I believe, and again this is just my thought, that athletes can recover quicker, and because of the treatments and what we have available to us as athletes compared to the normal, American folks going around. So here's a quick word from our sponsor, and we'll get back and we'll talk about some products.
At 3, we want to give you the true health benefits that you're paying for, something you can feel and see a difference quickly. Each product is packed with powerful plant-based nutrients that are combined through a proprietary curation process and then infused with innovative cellular absorption technologies to ensure the nutrients absorb into the cells for maximum wellness. The quality and effectiveness of our life-changing products is evident by their approval to be included in the well-known Prescriber's Digital Reference, or PDR. PDR has been a valuable resource to the medical doctors and providers in the healthcare community for decades. Our products are GMO-free, clinically studied, and third-party tested, all designed to support health and proactive wellness for everyone.
Welcome back. So before the break, we were talking about products and things like that, and kind of the concept of how athletes are able to recover quicker. The technology and the products available nowadays are much better, clearly, since the time I played, which was many moons ago, back in the early or late 90s, early 2000s. So I retired from football in 2004, and so there's been a lot of advancements in products and recovery and treatments and things like that. But I mentioned, of course, about having, being an athlete and being a paid athlete. You're an investment for whatever organization you're a part of. And if you do get injured, they want you back on that field as soon as possible. And so clearly it's an incentive for them as far as the professional organization to do the best that they can to get that athlete back on the field. And I think, of course, with regards to the treatments and the kind of the treatment modalities, we'll call them, the red light therapies, you got the hyperbaric chamber, that kind of thing. Those kind of things obviously increase the effectiveness of the treatment, obviously, and then they decrease the time that your body is healing. So they heal, they help and get the body to heal much faster. Okay. So, but on top of those though, if you had the idea of being a little bit more on the anti-inflammatory side, so keep the inflammation down in your body, I think that's an awesome opportunity for healing, of course, because when you have a lot of inflammation in your body, it's for a reason. There's a reason why your body's inflamed. Maybe it's your diet or whatever, or if you have any illnesses or problems, you're going to have inflammation surrounding those things. So the idea is really to keep the inflammation down. And so I'm going to show you a slide real quick. And this slide really represents some products from 3 International, and we're kind of an epigenetics company. Okay, so we do have supplements and things like that are really good for your daily activities, your vitamins, your minerals, things like that. But there's also, of the 11 products we have now, or whatever, 10 or whatever it is, these 4 were the ones that were kind of tested for their epigenetics properties. And so if you don't understand epigenetics, it's really the up and down regulation of certain genes in your body. Okay. And so when you kind of look closely, it might be kind of hard to read, but there's anything that's below that line. So there's 4 products, they got a line right there, baseline. Anything that you see a down arrow on is a down regulation of that certain gene. Anything that's upregulated is above that line on an up arrow. That is meaning that it's upregulated. It's turning on those genes in certain situations, right? So the 2 genes that were studied that were inflammatory genes, the NFKB and the IL-6, interleukin 6, both of those on all 4 of those products were down regulated. You can see that there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those that are shown on those 4 products that are downregulated. And the one on the right, the Eternel, it's the bottom right one. It's that purple little sachet type of thing that looks like it's an antioxidant product, actually. Got a ton of glutathione, resveratrol in it. But for whatever reason, again, I'm not a scientist. I don't know. I've never really asked this question. But the IL-6 gene with that product was downregulated 1,250%. Okay, so it does a great job of downregulating that IL-6 gene, which is an inflammatory gene. So you need that gene to be downregulated to decrease inflammation. And the NFKB is also downregulated. It's not quite as much as 1,250%, but it's down there quite a bit as well. A couple 100% on the Revive, that one product next to the Eternel, just straight to the left of that. And by the way, the Revive has a ton of curcumin in it. It's geared for anti-inflammatory properties. That's what that product alone has gotten me off of Advil. And I told you I've had plenty of back surgeries. I had 4 in my entire NFL career, and I was taking a lot of Advil to keep the inflammation down. Well, clearly we know that Advil is not great for your body. It's terrible for your liver, and your kidneys hate you for it, and it just tears down your stomach. There's a lot of bad things about Advil. And so I definitely, I'm very keen into anything that's natural, that's going to benefit me in the ways that I'm looking for. I don't want anything unnatural in my body. And so with the curcumin and the ginger root and all that stuff that's in the Revive, it's a natural down inflammation, anti-inflammation sort of aspect of the properties as well. So those, and the other products, of course, have also downregulated those. So we can get rid of that slide and just talk a little bit more about some other products. Of course, I'm also, and that's, of course, this is with 3 International. You can find the information on zealouswellness.com. Along with some other products as well from another company called Premier Life Wellness. We do a lot of peptides, and so we have access to all kinds of peptides. But peptides are naturally small. They're small chain amino acids that are signals. They're molecular signaling. What they do is they teach your body how to repair itself based on what the body needs, of course. And so when you talk about the inflammatory peptides and products and things like that we offer through Premier Life, we got BPC 157, which I'm sure a lot of you, if you're keen into, if you kind of understand this whole recovery process, you understand that that's a really good one. The TB 500 is another really good peptide as well for anti-inflammatory properties and muscle repair. Things like that. ARA 290, I'm not real familiar with that one, but I know it has anti-inflammatory properties as well. There's another, it's a tripeptide called KPV. That's another good one as well. And then quercetin is another one. It's a supplement, of course, and then also curcumin, as we have access to as well, 600 milligrams of curcumin in good natural form as well. But one thing you understand about curcumin is very, very difficult to absorb, and so you need those properties. Black pepper helps as well, but we also, with 3 International, of course, going back to 3 International, we have products that we have the absorption technology that's included in those products actually increases absorption, because anytime you take a product, a supplement on the market, there's not going to be really technically very many products out there at all that have any sort of cellular absorption technologies that help the products and the ingredients in the products actually absorb into your body. And so you don't really get the full effectiveness of those products. So you can have a curcumin product that turmeric or curcumin. Curcumin is the extract, phytonutrient extract from turmeric. Okay, so ultimately what that means is that, when we add the technology, and that's a very, very difficult one to absorb, curcumin is. So with regards to having the technologies that actually has absorption, you're getting a lot more of the benefits from it. So ultimately that's kind of where I'm going with it as far as athletes and just kind of the mindset of being healthy and being proactive with regards to, I'm telling you, I think these days, I think there's a lot of athletes who probably would benefit if they just keep inflammation down in general. We are all going to get hurt. There's always going to be some sort of pain and injuries and things like that in all kinds of professional sports and any activities. And the older we get, the more susceptible we are to having injuries. And it may not take much the older we get to get injured. Okay, so if you're constantly on these products, and I take them every single day. It's not that I take Revive, the curcumin product from 3. It's not big. I don't take those on days my back hurts. I take them every single day because they're natural, right? And the peptides, BPC 157, I'm on that as well. And so these are just, and again, for muscle recovery, if you're active and busy working out, things like that, you need, some help with regards to getting your body back into, back to where you're repairing muscles. Obviously, when you're working out, you're ripping them apart. And of course, then when they repair, they get bigger and stronger, more beneficial for you as a person, and all kinds of benefits. You all understand the benefits of working out. Hopefully you do. If not, look up some information about physical activity and working out and seeing how many benefits it really does help the body as well. So with regards to kind of the opportunities we have, and every year our technologies and products and things like that get better. I want to stay away from anything that's pharmaceutical in a sense where it's, I want nutraceutical. I don't want pharmaceutical. I don't want a bunch of chemicals. Back in the day, pharmaceutical products used to be mostly derived by plant material. Well, that was great. Well, they added other chemicals and things like that kind of took away the benefits of actual plant material. And now a lot of them are just chemically derived because it's cheaper. They actually are synthetically making certain vitamins and things like that your body doesn't quite recognize. They're close, but they don't. Your body still is like really not sure about this, vitamin B something or other. Like, I don't really know what that is. And so ultimately, and again, I've been saying this for a long time. Even our industry for food, our food industry. You look at the ingredients of certain food items. They may be processed, but years ago, the ingredients were much smaller. The list of ingredients in these any product you're talking about, right? Well, you fast forward, 20, 30, 40 years from then, and now you look at the same exact product and the ingredient number of ingredients has doubled or tripled or quadrupled. And a lot of those words, you don't even know what they are. And so clearly they're like chemicals or things like that are not natural. They're preservatives or things to keep the food fresh, to keep it the color. I mean, these companies do whatever they can to sell you on their products. They make them addictive. There's even the man, I can't remember the guy's name, but back in the day, the guy that was responsible for making cigarettes addictive was hired by Kraft, was hired by food companies to make foods addictive. Okay, they want you to keep eating these things because, again, we're all about money. Again, I know I'm getting off track a little bit, but it's all coming full circle because the more crap we're eating like that, the more inflamed our bodies are going to be. The more inflammation, the worse, the longer time of recovery and the more pain we're going to be in, more disease. Clearly, we all understand. I don't know if you're not aware of this yet, I'm here to tell you, the United States is the sickest country in the world. We're the richest country in the world. We're the sickest country in the world. There's so much money put into pharmaceuticals. Yeah, the pharmaceutical industry is massive. Well, why aren't we the healthiest company in the world or country in the world then? Because they don't want us healthy. There's no money in healthy people. Okay, they want us to be inflamed so that they can find something to fix your problem and and then they're hoping and praying that you don't understand how to take care of yourself naturally. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to, and again, I'm not a professional by any means. I'm giving you my, experiences and things like that with regards to what I can offer as far as what I know and what's helped me and what I've, kind of learned a little bit about, of course. And peptides are a big deal nowadays and for all kinds of different, aspects with regards to what you want to do in your body. So Premier Life Wellness is on zealouswellness.com. 3 International, the information's on zealouswellness.com. And some workouts and other products, water. I've got this water guy, of course, that's really good stuff. I'll have him on my show one time. He's not very technical, so I got to get him kind of all squared away with this whole technical thing, and maybe I'll have to have him at my house because if he can't do this technically through him from his home and his computer, then we'll have to just have him sitting right here in this chair and talking to you guys about it. But my point is really with everything involved with being natural and being healthy and natural and understanding recovery. I kind of started off the show by talking about athletes and why is it that we can recover so quickly. Back when I played, I think, obviously the modalities we had back then and even better now, but also just the treatments, were different. They're more aggressive. I'll put it that way. Especially with guys with ACLs. I was telling Becca yesterday at the watch party, we have guys with ACLs. I walk in the training room, the guy had just a week off of an ACL reconstruction, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know when they start doing the manual motion, range of motion. And I'm here to tell you, I'm honest. there's guys like in tears. These are full grown men playing football at the NFL at the highest level of football, and the trainers in there ranking on their knee, ranging, getting that range of motion really, and they are just in tears. They're screaming and crying because it hurts so bad. That's the kind of stuff we went through. But guess what? They're on the field in a few months, man. They're running around. They're doing sprints in a couple months. So I'm telling you, the recovery is much better, although it is more aggressive and maybe a little bit more painful. But I think, in my opinion, based on what I've been told, we are, the sports recovery and that kind of the treatments, things like that professional organizations provide for their athletes is much more aggressive, but the turnaround is much quicker. Okay. So, and then also now you fast forward into, now the technology we have, now the things that we have for supplements and different things like that will help us repair our bodies naturally. If you're constantly taking these things, again, I just revert back to the whole, Revive and the anti-inflammatory properties that the epigenetics showed with Revive and Eternel and a couple of the other products. If you take them every day, your body's going to be naturally less inflamed. I'm not saying you can totally get rid of inflammation, but in the event that you do get injured when your body is, levels are, inflammation levels are down, I don't think the injury will be as bad. Honestly, I think in the repair will be much easier and much quicker. And then, of course, you can, if you did get injured, you can experiment with a lot of peptides that deal with recovery and help repair a lot of stuff too. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. And I'm learning more every day about this stuff. And I'm going to provide as much as I can as far as what I know and just my experience. Again, I don't want to claim that I'm this doctor professional. I am kind of more or less studying to be a holistic health coach. That's been taking a little bit more time than I imagined, but with regards to just kind of the understanding, I want to know personally for my own benefit what things to do to help be, keep myself holistic and healthy naturally and not have to rely on drugs or again, I don't want to be eating a bunch of crappy foods it's going to increase inflammation in my body. I want to keep it my body nice and low in the inflammation side. And so I'm trying to be proactive in finding ways that I can do that. So I hope this helps you guys out. I'm going to cut this one a little bit short tonight. Got some things to do after the show, but just want you to know that I care about everyone's health and their wellness, and I want people to be pain-free. And in the environments that we're living in now, with the food sources we have, with the air and the pollution and the toxins that we're constantly every day consuming, whether you know it or not, you are. We need things that will counteract those problems that are occurring because of greed. We'll just put it that way. There's a lot of things I can talk about, go down some rabbit holes, but I don't want to get too involved with that. But you understand that America and the people that control our food, and I've been seeing, again, a little rabbit hole. We'll go down this one a little bit. I don't know if you've got noticed different countries around the world. The farmers are protesting because they're hiking up taxes. They're penalizing farmers for certain things, and they're all getting a little upset. And they're actually spraying manure over the city capitals and things. I mean, it's getting crazy, right? But they're making a statement. And the reason I think why they're getting taxed is that I think that the crafts, the big craft business, the food, all kinds of different huge organizations that are controlling a lot of our food sources are trying to get rid of our natural farmers that are bringing us natural food. How many times have you heard of Bill Gates trying to come up with this synthetic or this fake meat? I mean, come on. Are you serious? They're coming, we got to save the world and save the environment and save that. We got to get rid. And by the way, think about how many burgers, and this is another rabbit hole, sorry, but how many hamburgers are sold every day through McDonald's? It's in the millions, okay? I don't know where the beef is coming from, but I don't see a gazillion cows out there in the slaughter farms ready to go, There's not that many cows out there to produce the beef, quotations, air quotes, because I don't think it's beef. I think it's a plethora of stuff. Okay, that's my opinion. And again, I can go real deep with this stuff, but I don't want to. But my point is that there's a lot of things that, again, going back to the whole greed thing. When a business wants to save money and decrease their expenses, get their food sources for cheaper, maybe find some other sources that aren't actually food that they can make it look like it's food, even like chicken nuggets, things like that. If you ever seen videos on how chicken nuggets are made or how, anything, Oreos are one of the worst. Stay away from Oreos. That's another side note. But again, I'm getting on this tangent. I told you I wouldn't. But my point is that they want to decrease the expenses. They want to increase their profit and their bottom line by making foods worse for us. Because again, they care about money. They don't care about us. There's no money. There's no money in healthy people, and so it's all kind of this revolving sort of issue where people are getting rich off our sickness. They're more or less kind of purposely trying to drive us in a certain direction where we're eating what they can control, and of course they're going to put what they want to put in their foods, and we're going to be handcuffed. Okay, so I want you to understand now. That's why you see a lot of people getting their own chickens to produce their own eggs. People are growing their own vegetables. I mean, it's starting to be, and ever since COVID, I think people started to kind of understand that and kind of look ahead and kind of prepare for things. But anyways, I hope you guys are having an awesome Monday night. Watch some football. Great NFL season this year. There's been a lot of awesome games, and stay healthy, stay pure, stay motivated. Keep the information down. Understand what you can do to help yourself out with that. There's products out there. Of course, I'm supplying some opportunities for you to kind of do some research and learn a little bit about some of the products that I can offer you. There's a lot of other great ones out there as well. Don't just go through me, of course, and do some due diligence and do some research on what you think, but try to find supplements that will be beneficial to you and not the opposite. Okay. Because we do need supplements to counteract all this other junk that we're consuming. And of course, going back to the subject of tonight's episode is to keep the information down. We want to help ourselves recover much better and quicker. And I honestly believe that if the information is already down naturally through good supplements and so forth, peptides, whatever you name it, I think the injuries won't last as long. You'll recover much quicker and much better. And so with that said, hope you guys have an amazing Monday night, and we'll see you next Monday. I don't think I have any issues with holidays, so next Monday night we're good for 5:30 for Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis. So I hope you guys have an awesome evening, and take care. Love you all.
Thank you for watching Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next time.